biohacking can be like faith. You have to have this blind belief that something is going to work. And some of the things I've been doing, like peptides injections, some of them are short term, like BPC 157, TB 500, CJC 1295. You see results within days or weeks. But epitalon, for instance, you inject once a year and you pray the gods of biohacking that in 30 years from now, you'll still be alive and trust the research.
Hello, welcome back to the Dr. Joy Kong podcast. I'm so excited because this is the first time I'm actually filming on location here with wonderful Valerie Orson, an amazing biohacker, has produced so much great content to help everybody. So Valerie, I'm so happy to have you. And
Thank you.
Wow, what a wonderful thing to be at this ecologically friendly,
biohacker friendly.
Right, biohacker friendly hotel in Los Angeles. So Valerie came from San Francisco, but has been doing biohacking for years. So I want you to share your story about how you became such a pro biohacker and what you did for your health, because it's such an inspiring story for people to hear.
Thank you. And I really want to stress something, that biohacking saved my life. But also a lot of the time when we interview people, I'm also guilty of interviewing people who represent a brand. So they have sometimes some sort of biased, their biased opinion because they're promoting a brand. I don't promote any supplement or anything. So what I say is really what I've tried and that has saved me. But I've been a biohacker since 1998. And the term at the time had not been coined yet. No one knew about biohacking. But I was born very early on in my life. When I was 5 years old, we discovered why I was always in pain. I couldn't even open a door. I had so much pain in my wrists, in my elbows, my fingers. Look at this one. This started from childhood. My fingers were so painful. Now we know I had juvenile arthritis, right? And I was told there's nothing you can do. You will live in pain. You'll never climb a mountain. You'll never play with your friends like that. And I was like, oh my God. And to be honest, I believed the doctors. I mean, after all, they were wearing a white coat. They knew better than me. And so I believed the limits they gave me. And then as I became older, I broke my ankles 13 times. Oh my God. Not 5, not 6, 13. And I'm talking fractures, not like sprains, real ones. And again, they told me there's nothing we can do. You have a fragile skeleton. And I was like, okay. And then one day, now you know my age. I was 28. Was 96. And I decided I would stop believing the limits they had put on me. I would stop believing I couldn't fix it. And I would stop believing my body was broken. And that's when I really started looking into what can I do to support my body. And I know now it sounds lame, but vitamin C and the first vitamins really people were taking, already that, I had no one supporting me. Like there was not a lot of science about how vitamin C and other supplements could help you. There were not that many anyway. Doctors would laugh at me because who is going to cure anything with a vitamin supplement or even cold showers? But I still did it. And to me, biohacking is like faith. I'm taking the religious aspect off, but it's like faith. You have to believe before you see. It's like a stem cell injection. When you inject someone right away, it's not going to be a miraculous thing that happens. It takes days, months, weeks, I don't know, but it's not right away. You have to have the belief. It's going to change you. It's going to work. And to me, that's also part of biohacking. It's also why people make mistakes sometimes and do stupid things in the biohacking world. But so very early on, I tried, everything that has to do with cold therapy, cold plunges, cryo when it came available. And pretty much when I look at everything I was diagnosed with, so juvenile arthritis, a very fragile skeleton. Oh, and I had a very rare condition, congenital steatosis, severe steatosis. I was born with it. And usually you get that when you drink a lot of wine or sugary drinks, which I never did. I never had a drop of alcohol. And I was one step from cirrhosis, where you get a liver transplant. And I was like, and they told me, guess what? There's nothing we can do. And it's so crazy. And then I was diagnosed with aggressive multiple sclerosis and all these things that happened to me, right? But that last diagnostic, I think, was the real nail in the coffin of non-believing in biohacking. Because when I got this terrible diagnostic of aggressive MS, I went somewhere around the world. I don't want to say what I did, where I went, but I did some crazy step for 3 weeks. As I did that, my symptoms regressed to a point where when I flew back, my MRI was clean. Some people say the first doctor made a mistake. It was a false positive. Some others said you did what you had to do. I don't care. I'm healthy, and that's what matters. But as I was doing my treatments in that place, at one point we were meditating, and the meditation leader asks a question to everyone saying, if you die now, what's going to be your biggest regret? And I was like, what a lame question. If I'm dead, I'm dead. I know how that's right. But then I was like, I heard people say, my family, my kids, my husband, my wife. And I'm like, no, the mountains. I've always wanted to climb mountains. Since I was a kid, I was told you'll never be able to climb a mountain. So that was, if I die now, that was my big thing. So when I came back with my family, I want to climb mountains, and the highest in the world. And 3 weeks later, I was in Russia climbing Mount Elbrus, which is around 20,000 feet or something. Well, and that's what started my whole healing, because one of my biggest sponsors was from Norway, and they are the makers of very high-grade omega-3 krill from Antarctica. I did not listen well when they gave me the dosage, so I took 3 to 4 times the amount I should have taken, unbeknownst to me, right? But 6 months later, after the expedition, I go for a usual ultrasound of my liver, and the doctor's like, let's do it again. Okay, let's do it again. You have perfect liver. It's super healthy. Like, no, it's impossible. He says, well, yeah. So I'm like thinking, what did I do? And I had nothing special apart from omega-3 krill. So I called the company in Norway. I say, hey, guys, something strange happened. My liver is perfectly fine. And they said, by the way, we kept it a secret, but we're publishing in the Journal of American Medicine Association a big peer-reviewed study that shows how omega-3 krill, so the very specific one that's not heated, can heal some of the liver conditions in the world, including yours. And that to me was a proof that when I was told you can't do anything, you could actually do something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your biohacking, right? You're at the forefront before paper is published.
Yeah. Exactly. But I didn't know. It was like an accidental healing.
Right.
But also it helps with my joints. My first mountains I climbed with braces. After I started doing more biohacking, like cryotherapy, and then later on hyperbaric chamber treatments and stuff like that, I started not needing braces anymore.
Wow.
And now I can do push-ups. To you, maybe it's normal.
Yeah.
Like my entire life, I couldn't put weight on my wrist, and I can do push-ups. Right. I can do L-sits, and I'm like, wow.
Wow. I can imagine why you have such passion for biohacking. I mean, for us, it's like, okay, we live a little better, we live a little longer. But for you, it's life-changing for doing things you could not do and just transforming your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. I'm sure a lot of people possibly have gone into biohacking because they were suffering and they are looking for solutions.
Yeah, people who had cancers, people who had some strange ailments that no one had a clue about.
Yeah.
Some of them find out they have a lot of moles in their house, and that's the root of all evil. Some others find out they use chemicals in their house to clean that are super bad. And then some of them are like me. They didn't do anything really bad. They were just born like this, but told there was nothing to be done.
Right. Yeah. And you had so many discoveries along the way of healing. And one of them is what to eat.
Yeah.
That was very interesting because you grew up on a beautiful, right, pristine island, very clean, and people are eating traditional food, right, having good long lives, but you were sick.
Yeah. So all my life, until we found out, for my first 35 years of life, I was in almost constant pain, abdominal pain, like very bad pain. And they would always tell me when I was a kid, it's because it was in my head. I was making it up to, I don't know, attract attention or whatever. When I was a teenager, it was hormonal changes. When I was a young adult, it was stress from work. And I was like, no, I know it's not stress. I have pain when I'm at the beach or, in a non-stressful environment. It's only when I was 35, a bit more, I interviewed a professor from Cedars-Sinai and another one from UCLA. And I was telling them about my symptoms. And one of them said, hold on a minute. We're studying something no one has talked about before called FODMAPs, fermentable oligosaccharides, onions, garlic, cruciferous legumes. It's a lot, stone fruits, honey, whatever. And we know that these can be poorly processed by some people. A lot of them are women, actually. Maybe you're part of this group. And to be honest, a lot of the women used to be prescribed antidepressants because of abdominal pain. Doctors of the old school would say, oh, you have pain in your tummy, you must be depressed.
Right. Psychosomatic. I mean, it's like just sad words that doctors use. I'm so sorry.
Well, but you're not a regular doctor. You're a super.
Right. But I'll apologize for my profession.
But yeah, and right away, he put me on a regimen of 21 days with no FODMAP. The entire FODMAP family was evicted from my diet.
And what do they include?
So all the cruciferous. So no cabbage, no broccoli, no cauliflower. All the alums. So that's onion, garlic, shallots, leeks. No stone fruit. No apricot, peach, or cherry.
My favorite fruits.
No apple, no pears, no avocado. I love avocado. I have it sometimes. No bell pepper, no eggplant. Like if you make a ratatouille for me, with my national dish, I can only have the tomatoes and the zucchinis. But it seems a lot. Like you were shocked. We were having lunch and she's like, oh my God, you can't eat. Yes, but knowing I'm going to be pain-free is worth the hassle, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I can have chocolate. So yeah, the food, this made me think a lot about how the microbiome works around the world, how you and I are from different places of the world. So obviously we must have differences in our bacteria in the system here, and how our food can impact our mental health as well as our healing process. So food is a huge pillar. Right now, there's this obsession about sleep. Like you have some biohackers that are obsessed with how many hours. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You can sleep as much as you want. If your food is bad and you don't have joy and happiness in your life, it just is not going to work. Because joy and good food can override anything else. So for me, the two big pillars of a good biohacked life, if you only have two, it's going to be joie de vivre, or like happiness, gratitude, enjoying, and the nutrition.
Right.
And then fitness, and then sleep.
I see. And where do you find joy? Yeah.
With you. I mean, that was an easy one. Joy is here.
Trick question. So, yeah.
Joy is when I land, not crashing on a flight. I'm so scared on a plane.
That's about gratitude all the time. Yeah. So I know you've discovered so many great tricks along the way for your health, right? You were always telling me, yeah, I was overcome this by doing this. So can you share some of your hacks and, interesting tricks?
So I was telling Joy, we had lunch together. It's a secret when I was young. I was telling her that biohacking can be like faith. You have to have this blind belief that something is going to work, right? And some of the things I've been doing, like peptides injections, some of them are short term, like BPC 157, TB 500, CJC 1295. You see results within days or weeks. But epitalon, for instance, you inject once a year and you pray the gods of biohacking that in 30 years from now, you'll still be alive and
trust the research. Yes.
I mean, I really trust Professor Kavinson. I mean, when you read his research from the 70s and 80s, this guy knew before anyone else. And he was the first researcher in the world, in the Soviet Union, to research peptides, because the Soviets, they wanted the Homo Sovieticus, the strong man. And I'm pretty much sure that had we not have Professor Kavinson, we would not be here as far as peptides are concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of peptides do you utilize?
I use BPC 157, TB 500 all year long, but in a specific protocol. I don't want to have a desensitization of receptors. So I do 3 months of the combo, 1 month off, 1 month of 1 month off, and then I alternate constantly to kind of shock my body constantly.
Yeah.
Now I added CJC 1295 and ipamorelin and simorelin as well for my hair. I'm going to do like 4 months cures of each, and then I stop for 2 months and then go back. And I do also epitalon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't do semaglutide, which is Ozempic. It's so bad. I mean, it helps people lose weight, but the last research I read, it's pretty scary. 39% of the weight people lose is muscle mass. And that's pretty scary.
Yeah. 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 I was just covering a methylene blue product that they have something that can allow you to use less of the semaglutide and then helping preserve muscle mass.
I mean, I love the GLP-1 probiotics because they restore your ability to produce your own hormone, GLP-1 yourself, just by taking the right probiotic, and you have the same result with no side effects. So that's why no more people use GLP-1 probiotics.
Which probiotic?
Endome, yeah. I am not sponsored, but I've looked at all the research, and these guys have really one of the best on the market.
Okay. Yeah. So Valerie, not only you're helping yourself with your skills in biohacking, but you're helping people you love, including your dad. You were telling me this wonderful story about how you were helping your dad with his lung condition. So share us a little bit about it.
So 18 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with terminal emphysema. He had 6 months to live. That was 18 years ago. And just so you know, spoiler alert, he's still alive. But I really stepped in and I said, listen, Dad, they tell you you're going to be dead in 6 months. Let's face it, there's nothing to be done. He was in a terrible state. He needed oxygen to just go to the bathroom. It could take him an hour back and forth. Wow. And so I was researching stem cells at the time. I was not as knowledgeable as today. I didn't have anyone like you to ask questions. I did my little research on my side, right? But I researched so much and I was like, hold on, stem cells, plus a protocol I found in Israel with a special professor who's really specialized in emphysema healing. And then some food that is gluten-free, sugar-free, yeast-free, and dairy-free. And I was like, it sounds hard and easy at the same time. Because food is easy. Getting stem cells out of Taiwan, from Israel to France, oh my God, that's going to be hard. But I did my best. So the protocol I did for my dad is first I called the director of the clinic, of the hospital. Do you know what she said? She said, are you willing to take so many risks with your dad's health? I'm like, baby, you're giving him, I just said baby, but I thought you're giving him 6 months to live. So come on. Maybe what I'm going to do is going to shorten his 6 months to 4. But the vast majority of us think it's going to prolong his life. And so she didn't like it. And my dad was the ultimate person to decide. And he said, yeah, I want to do it. So I had food delivered. I had stem cells delivered, a complicated process. And also there was a fitness protocol from Israel, from a professor who really specializes in health and emphysema healing, where they would put you on a bike, stationary bike, and make you pedal until you would almost pass out, which sounds super shocking, right? But somehow, and I don't know the word in English, but it helps. What's the name of these little tiny cells in the lungs? It helps them.
Alveoli.
Yes, yeah. It helps them regenerate. And 18 years later, he's 84 years old. He swims 3K a day. He walks constantly. He's super healthy.
Yeah, amazing.
And he regained lung capacity. His heart is super healthy. He just had a test a week ago, which I told her about. So I'm like super impressed at how we could reverse.
Yeah, so that's from an anti-inflammatory diet, right? And stem cells, and then the exercise.
And then now, for the past 5 years, he's been injecting peptides. The Nini C157, the TV500, and now glutaride, and which is also very good in anti-inflammatory for lungs, and CJC12 as well.
That's great. I mean, I'm glad you have a compliant father.
Oh, he doesn't. My mom, she doesn't do anything. She doesn't listen to me. You have to have a white coat and take medicine and pills and drugs from Walgreens.
We all have our own different paths, so we just have to respect that everybody, they choose what they choose. I've seen people make choices that are not wise.
You can't force them.
Yeah. So, but then as doctors, we're guides, but you guys are the ultimate decision makers. Even if the decision is not very good, but it's your right. So I'm glad that your dad, it's really respecting your expertise.
Yeah.
And
he trusts me. Take 35 supplements a day, like his daughter. And the doctor not long ago, his doctor say, hey, what did you do? Because your heart results are amazing. And he said, we are in France, doc. I can't tell you how many supplements I take. Already you're shocked when I take vitamin C and magnesium. And I'm not even going to mention the injections. So, he's meeting me next week. He lives in France. And his last message he sent me was, should I bring my peptides with me when we meet so we can do 10 days of injection together?
Yeah, I wish my dad was is as open. But I brought him a Beamer machine back to China. I hear the whole thing back, right?
He's not using it.
He used it once, maybe a few times, and he meticulously recorded his blood pressure, and then it got a little higher than usual. And he was, no, it's making my blood pressure go high. I said, probably it just dislodged all this skunk that's in your blood vessels. It's causing a temporary, reaction in your system. You're cleaning things out. It's just shaking things up, but no. So he's like you said, that you have to have some faith, right?
Yeah.
So the blood pressure it's it's a symptom. It's not a disease itself. So just because it's a little elevated, it doesn't mean that it's bad in itself. It could just be your body's reacting
It
to
depends
something.
also what elevated means. If it's 130 or if it's 220. Right. Like,
He's probably was like, he said like 8 points higher. So
no big deal.
I know. So, but go try to reason with the 85-year-old. So what do you think it's your overall regimen for enhancing your vitality and like longevity these days? Like, what do you do?
I fast 18 hours a day.
Okay. I'm a fan of intermittent fasting as well. So
I fast 5 days a week.
why not 7 days?
Because between 5 and 7 days of intermittent fasting, studies have shown very little differences. And so if you really want to have 2 days of your week where you're having brunch with friends or a breakfast with someone, it's okay. I'm not saying that you don't have to, but if you want, you can. And I think also, I also listen to my body. Like the past 4 days until today, I couldn't fast until 1 p.m. I was somehow super hungry, craving for protein around 10 a.m. I just followed my body. I'm really connected to my body. So I think that's very important. I exercise 1,000 calories a day. I know in LA it's hard, but in San Francisco, we have so many bike lanes. I ride an hour and a half, 2 hours a day.
I used to ride a bike in my poor student days, college student days. I did all my grocery shopping on my bicycle. And up and down those hills. Those are some dramatic, incredible workouts. Yes.
So I do that. I do 90 seconds of dead hangs every day to work I mainly decompression, but also to work on upper body strength.
When you say dead hang,
you hang on like an ape. You hang on a bar.
Okay, not upside down, but
no, you're like this, and you really have to use your arms to pull yourself. Actually, hold yourself. Around 2 seconds. That's it.
Okay,
it's pretty long. Try it, and you'll tell me. It's not that easy.
Okay,
it works on your grip strength, which is super connected with the aging speed. So this, I do L sits 30 seconds a day. That's super quick. What is it? L sits. You sit like this, and you lift your legs in the air and your butt as well.
Okay,
so kind of like this.
Oh, okay.
This I do every day.
How many of those?
30 seconds. 30 seconds, right.
Oh, you just stay in the air?
This with my butt and legs in the air.
Oh.
It's not that easy.
Wow.
It took me 6 months to get to the
Really?
And I'm like so proud. I'm like bragging everywhere. It's like, guys, can you do an LC?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm training to them for the next move right now. So I do this around like throughout the day. Every time I go through my gym, I have a gym. So I see the bar. I just hang for like 30 seconds, 90 seconds. Every time I sit. So it really works on your upper body strength. Muscle is big. I increase my protein intake to 140 grams a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know. But I feel way stronger because I do a lot of mountain climbing. So I need a lot of muscle mass.
So how do you cram all those protein in? Like, what do you take?
So a lot of fish. I'm a big fan of seafood. So fish, seafood. I don't like really red meat, not because I think it's unhealthy. I just don't like it. So chicken. And of course, I take also peptides, collagen peptides, 20 to 30 grams a day. But I'm not obsessed. I mean, if I'm at 90 grams, it's not the end of the day. I'm just, it's kind of like a measure I'm trying to reach. But it's okay if I don't.
Protein shakes?
Just once a day, I do what I call the Biohackers shake, in which I put collagen peptides, raw cacao, spermidine, creatine, glycine, a lot of things. Glycine also, yeah.
Okay.
The recipe is on my website, valbiohacker.com.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. It's very good. I take it around midday. And it kind of helps if I'm hungry in the afternoon. And it crams like 12 supplements in one shake.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That may be a good way to break the fast.
That's also good, yeah. Because there's no sugar in it. So it's a good way to not like have this influx of like bread that people sometimes do.
Yeah, because I don't eat until midday, but what do you eat to break a fast?
So
instead of grazing, if I can eat a high-powered protein shake, that sounds great. I just cram so much nutrition in one meal, and I'm already I finished a big part of the task of eating, of providing nutrition to the body.
So, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, right?
Yeah.
So I really like what she says about protein.
Okay.
And so sometimes I think about her. I don't know her personally, but I think about her like she's watching over my shoulder, and she's like, Val, there's not enough protein in your plate. And so and she insists on the fact that your first meal of the day should be the heaviest in protein. And it was not the way I was looking at things before. And now I'm really looking at getting 50 to 60 grams of protein in my first meal. So it's like 200 grams of meat and then my shake, something like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a good, tangible tip that people can easily implement.
I do red light therapy every day. Every morning, 20 minutes in front of my panel.
Oh, okay. What do you think that has done for you?
So mitochondrial support, anti-inflammatory, skin collagen production. You can tell on the skin, it's amazing. And I use it to also work on my eye health. So when I'm facing the panel for 10 minutes, I don't wear the green glasses. I close my eyes and I do exercises to keep my vision as it is, not requiring sunglasses.
What kind of exercises?
Like, you work your eyes.
Like exercising the muscles around the eye. And you think that has helped your vision?
I don't have glasses. I don't have reading glasses.
Wow.
All my friends do. So I'm a sample of one, but
Yeah. And how long have you been doing that?
20 years.
This eye movement wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It works. Good anecdote. Yeah.
And then I turn around 10 more minutes on the back of the spinal. And then when I'm turning back, I use my HeartMath stress monitor. It's like a biofeedback for cardiac coherence. And I work on cardiac coherence for 7 minutes. It really helps align your brain activity, your nervous system, and your heart. And that really helps with HRV.
I see.
I've increased my HRV by 10% in 2 weeks just by doing this every day.
Okay. What is it called again?
HeartMath.
Okay. So they have a particular device?
A little sensor you put on your earlobe, and then it connects to your phone, and it helps you see how connected you are and how your HRV is moving. You can make into crazy tests. For instance, you have this on yourself and you think about something terrible, war, disease, death. You will see your cardiac coherence is almost at 0. Your HRV is super low. Like you think about gratitude, love, friendship, helping others, and you see your HRV go up. You see your coherence.
Okay, that teach you.
It shows you how your brain impacts your heart, which very few people understand. But that really shows you.
Oh, that's wonderful to have that tangible evidence.
It's really biofeedback.
So you monitor through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these guys have been around since 91. I interviewed the founder like 2 weeks ago. And in 91, people thought these guys were hippies. And now they know they were completely right.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I would love to interview them. Yeah. That's amazing. And okay. And anything else?
I do surrounding things.
That's already quite a bit.
And then I wear a red light therapy neck and chest device for collagen production that directly on my skin. When I'm on a call or something, no one can see it.
Okay.
And then every morning and night, I also wear blue glasses, not yellow, blue light glasses to modulate my circadian rhythm. You see everyone now who's a biohacker or aspiring, they wear these yellow glasses constantly. And that's a big mistake.
Really?
Because if you wear them during the day, you are not connected with the real blue light anymore. And if you wear them too early at night, which was what I was doing, I was wearing them at 7 p.m., then you fall asleep at 8:30. Guess what? At 4 a.m., you are awake. And that's not enough because from 4 to 6, you have so many metabolic functions you're missing. So I've been using these, they're called AYO glasses. At 7 a.m. in the morning, it projects blue light really on my retina and macula to send to the brain the signal, wake up.
Wow. Or you can just go outside.
But this one is even stronger.
Okay.
And also at 7 a.m. in San Francisco, sometimes it's not that bright.
Can't find the sun.
You're like, where's the light? Where's the light? And at night, I wear it at 8:30 to push back my circadian rhythm by an hour and a half. So now I sleep way better.
Really?
Because I used to wake up at 4 and I'm like, I'm bored, I'm awake.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's really helping.
Wow. Okay.
I do so many things. I do math.
So you don't think that, well, people can wear the yellow blue blocking glasses, but if they wear it at hours that are, they start at whatever, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's still very good, right?
It depends on their chronotype. Some people have a chronotype where they need to go to bed earlier than others. But in any case, we should not wear them during the day, except if we're looking at the screen. And when you see people outside on the street wearing them, that's a big no-no. You should only wear them if you're looking at a screen that doesn't have a blue light blocker, or when you want to kind of slow down the system at night. Or if you wake up at night and you want to read at night, you can wear them for obvious things.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on sunglasses?
Well, I like my sunglasses because those are my brand, 25 plastic bottle caps recycled in a pair of sunglasses. But we now know that a lot of people get sunburned because of sunglasses. It makes sense in a way. Why didn't we think about it? if you wear sunglasses in the sun, what does your brain receive as a message?
There's not that much sun. Yeah.
So what happens? You don't produce as much melanin as you should. Hence you burn. So the theory is not that you go all the time without sunglasses in the sun. It's that the first 20 to 30 minutes of exposure should be without sunglasses. So the message is sent to the brain. And at first I was like, nah, that doesn't make sense. But then I read some studies and research. I'm like, well, yeah, actually does make sense. That's why we're getting more and more sunburns. I'm not talking about the ozone layer. I'm just talking regular. Yeah, you go to the beach and you burn faster because people get the sun. So listen, you go outside at 7 a.m. you already have sunglasses on, and then you have yellow glasses. When is your brain getting natural daylight? Never.
Yeah.
So we need to find a middle ground.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who don't wear sunglasses. Right? A lot of people do.
But then they have wrinkles because you're going to squint.
Oh.
We need to find a middle ground.
Well, suppose the UV light promotes macular degeneration. So, but I still...
I do both.
Yeah.
I think we need regular light for health, macular health, retina health, ocular health in general, and also everything else. But I also believe that too much exposure is not great. So I'm kind of in between. Like I'm going out without it and then I'll wear it,
I see. Yeah, I like that. Moderation.
And I'm really in moderation in a lot of things. I don't believe in being extreme. Yeah.
So is that your biggest trick for a better sleep, is using these glasses?
The yellow one, the blue ones, the red light at night. So in my room, I don't have regular lights. I have only red lights in my room.
Oh, you're one of those.
It's very sexy. Come to bear. They have the red lights on. Yeah, I have red lights in my main living room. I turn on my red light panel. I fly just for fun and everything is red.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. How are you going to read? Do you want to read a book?
So I use either a regular book with a red light, like a little book red light, little tiny light that only projects red light, which is okay. Or I use my yellow glasses on an iPad that's not connected to the internet. Just like I download a book, put a green background, and I use my yellow glasses.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
And then I use mouth taping.
Oh. Are you a mouth breather?
No, but I realized everyone is a mouth breather at night. At one point, you will use your mouth. And I read some research after a few biohackers talked about it, like Tim Gray, for instance. And I looked at it, and I'm like, it makes sense. And I use that. I cannot wear the whole tape. I feel panic. So I wear a little tiny thing that prevents my mouth from opening at night. I've been doing it just now for a week. It's not very long. But my sleep has been changed. You look at, the graphs at night.
Yeah.
Way less wake-ups. Way less. And super short.
Really?
Yes. It's amazing.
Wow. So thank you for figuring all this out for everybody.
I know. And this is just, you have to try it. It's not sexy. So listen, if you wear the blue light thingy and then the mouth tape and then the earplugs, and it's not super sexy. I know. So have sex before and then put everything up. Oh, because I also put a silicone patch on my chest to prevent wrinkles at night.
I see. Okay.
Very sexy as well.
Bionic woman going to bed. Okay. Well, this is fabulous. And I know you constantly share your tips with everybody, and you post some very interesting content, including a very recent, a little episode about farting, right? That was really interesting. And, only brave ladies like you would be willing to put out a content, that's actually very funny but very interesting. And it's very relevant to our health. Just nobody talks about it because it just, but you were saying that it's not even a taboo until just a few hundred years ago.
Yeah. Until the Middle Ages, farting was part of life.
Yeah.
You read like old, scripture, old writings, and people will just say, he was very healthy. He was farting 15 times a day. Today, you can't really say to someone, I feel super healthy. I farting 20 times yesterday. That doesn't work. It is so unelegant. I mean, it's like religion, politics, menopause, COVID, and farts. You don't talk about it. But I learned so many things. I had to share it. You know how many times a day you're supposed to do it?
No, but I just found out today.
Between 10 and 20, 25 times a day. Under 10?
Who's counting?
You need to count. Take a little book and count. But you need to know. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Too little is not good.
Yeah.
right?
Which is not good either.
Right. Well, of course, as doctors, anytime where anybody can have surgery, the first thing you want to ask them is, have you had passed gas today? I mean, that's really important.
And it's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
So we
need the bowels to move, but we're very subtle, right? Have you passed gas? It's
elegant. Very elegant. We just ask them, did you fart today?
So Valerie's a lot of fun, full of life and full of, these drive. And just look at how she wants to climb all these mountains. It's absolutely, very admirable. And you produce lots of content to help everybody. So where can people follow you?
So they can follow me on Instagram at Valerie Orson and on the internet, valbiohacker.com. That's my platform where I share 3 times a week. I share like in-depth dossiers on general biohacking subjects.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you're such a delight.
Thank you.
To spend time with. Yes, it's so much fun. And thank you for a great conversation. I hope you all enjoyed it.